in my personal opinion, when I pick up a product at the grocery store and I see canola oil in there, cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, I put it back on the shelf. I don't want chronic pain.
Oh, in a full year, and that lets you save. Look here.
Welcome to a brand new edition of Ageless Energy, where we talk about how to burn fat, increase energy, and balance hormones for women over 40. Over the past 20 years as a performance coach, I've worked with hundreds of women that have the exact same struggles you do. I hope to shine some light with this podcast on what can be the most challenging time of your life and let you know there is hope to find success with your health and what you're looking for. Please share and enjoy. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Whether you're listening in the morning or in the evening, thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out another show with us. Now, today we're talking about the connection between rancid oils and chronic pain. This is something that is very apparent. It's real. We're going to go over facts. I'll give you some ideas. We're going to talk about what is that, where that chronic pain is stemming from, and then what we can do about it. We'll talk about oils in particular, what are clean, quality oils that we should be putting in our body, and what we should be staying away from. So hopefully you're excited for a jam-packed show. Maybe open up your mindset onto what may be causing chronic pain in your life. We deal with a lot of people that have chronic pain. That's all there is to it. We have a lot of people that come to us for our supplements for chronic pain in particular. But you know what the thing is, like, I don't necessarily believe we should accept our health to decline, but it's apparent as we get older, we have more pain in our life. We have more pain in our bodies. So we particularly, or more specifically, work with women aged 40 to 60. This is where you could look at, a number of different health issues that are starting or have set in, and we need to do something about that. More particularly, you could look at arthritis or osteoarthritis. Like that's common. But we can take steps to prevent, we can take steps to naturally treat, and we can help remove many different areas of chronic pain by paying attention to what we're putting in our body. So I'm going to start off with that. Hopefully that resonates with some of you that are tuning in. Okay, we got a lot to cover with oils, and like oils in particular, oh boy. Okay, oils in particular, there's a lot to them, and most people don't put the connection to rancid oils, or I guess we don't know that those oils are rancid, right? So the easiest thing we don't know that, first of all, we don't know the oil is rancid, and then second of all, we don't connect that the rancid oils are causing us chronic pain. So I feel like that's the very basics, or a good stepping stone. So rancid oils, which is why you should not be buying the cheapest quality oils on the shelf, are causing the chronic pain in your body. Now, there could be a number of other things happening there that we don't know about. This is a generalization. When we work with our clients, it's a one-on-one basis, and we can dive deeper to what their lifestyle looks like, what foods they're consuming, what activity looks like. Even the stress in our life plays a role in the chronic pain that we're dealing with. So when you're going to buy cheap packaged foods at the grocery store, those are rancid oils, because they're not going to put the best quality oils in their food because they don't care about the health of the product. And I think that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not their goal. Like, most companies are not health companies. Even health companies don't necessarily care about your health. They care about their profit margin. So we have to understand that if you're going to buy the cheap quality products, they're going to put cheap quality ingredients in there. That's going to cause chronic pain in your body. So when we work with our clients, we say very specific, these are the supplements you take. This is the food that you purchase. This is how much you eat. It's very specific. So one of the concerns that we run into is someone's like, oh, well, can I take this supplement instead? And I'm like, well, send me the ingredients. So someone may be like, why do you need to see the ingredients? A lot of people just send me the caloric value. And I'm like, that doesn't tell me if there's rancid oils in there, if there's cheap fillers, additives, preservatives, coloring, MSGs. Like, those other toxins continue to build toxins in our body, and it wears on us. And that's where that chronic pain builds up from those ingredients. And that's why it's so important. Like for us, we're very ingredient driven because we want to know what every single ingredient is in a product, because we know that certain ingredients will cause inflammation, and that inflammation, well, I suppose if you could take a step back, that those rancid oils are causing the inflammation in your body. The inflammation is causing the chronic pain. And because we don't connect the two, we just continue to buy the cheap processed food, and we're like, don't know why my digestion is out of whack. I don't know why it's painful for me to bend over. A lot of women we deal with have lower back pain, knee pain, other joint pain in their wrists or hands, and that is because of the low quality foods that we're putting in our body with those cheap ingredients, including the rancid oil. So when you're going to buy the food, and I guess to take a step back more directly, like when we're working with individuals, we say, here, this is exactly what you should do, what should buy. And then they're like, oh, can I buy this one? So we have to make sure every single one of those ingredients are clean. Otherwise, we don't know. There's more variables. There's more unknowns. Like, I don't know what this ingredient is, so I have to go research it. Instead of, the easy answer is just go get this one, right? We know that one's clean, that we know that one it's a good quality company, good ingredients. Like, that's the easiest answer. And I suppose that's where we find the most success with our clients, is those that just follow along. Like, we have a very step-by-step process of where you see results. Still, understandably, some people are like, can I do this? Can I have this one instead? How about that one? And I'm like, how about you stick to the plan? There's different quality of oils that we can consume and put in our body. So that's fantastic. But understand, I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about the holistic avenue of what we're doing and what we're putting in our body. So a lot of people may say, well, I have a good quality olive oil, avocado oil, MCT oil, coconut oil, whatever it is. But then they're snacking in the evening. Women, I know you. A lot of women, they go to those, and I'll tell you exactly why. If you haven't heard me say it before, it's not a secret. We see women push most of their calories to the end of the day. So they're running around taking care of the kids, their grandkids, their spouse. They push their breakfast late, so they miss breakfast and may have a little snack, or maybe they may pick at the kids' food, and then they have a late lunch. Sometimes that's not even a full lunch, but that lunch is later on. It's like 1 or 2, so very few calories in the morning. Then in the evening, one big meal, because that's supper time, or that's more of a family time. I feel like it may be a bit of a lost art for families to get together and sit for their meals, but I think there's a better chance that that's happening at dinner time. Let me know in the comments if you have dinner together as a family. No judgment, I'm just curious. And then so you have your one big meal, and then maybe a snack meal or two. Most women that we work with are coming to us at the beginning are calorie deprived, nutrient deficient. So you don't have the nutrients in your body to gain energy, burn body fat, drop inches, improve digestion. That's just how it works. You need food in your system to make that happen. Then in the evening, we're snacking, right? You go to the pantry, you go to the cookies, the chips, the crackers, muffins. You know what I'm talking about? This is what our clients tell us. Like, this is what happens. So that's what I'm talking about. Is some people may say, well, I have a good quality oil. Maybe some of you have brain fuel, but you're still snacking in the evening with products filled with rancid oils. So let's take a step back. The oils, so we need a balance of omega-3 and omega-6 in our diets. Most of the rancid oils are more geared toward 6s. Like, we need a balance of the 3 and 6 and 9, but in most cases, the 3 is lacking, and then there's more 6 and 9. Those you don't need to know that type of stuff. It's just understanding of the balance. So you look at more omega-3s, which could be a krill oil or a fish oil. For example, chia seeds is one of the only seeds, I think, or very few seeds, that is not animal. Is a fish an animal? Fish is not animal derived. Chia seeds are one of the few omega-3s, and I prefer 3s over chia seeds for your omega-3s, then a fish. That's just my own personal opinion. The ocean is, we as a society choose to go buy cheap junk at the big blue store at the edge of town that breaks in seconds, gets tossed in the landfill, gets overfilled into the ocean. Now when we go to our favorite vacation spots, we find plastic on the beaches in the ocean, and no one's like, hey, maybe we should stop buying that junk. That's just a side note. I'm an environmentalist at heart, and that stuff bothers me. So I think it's important to understand where things come from and stem from. At any rate, I still consume fish. Like, we still eat fish products. I just feel like supplementation, that's my first choice. I would choose chia seeds, fish oil. But then there's the DHA that we won't get into that you wouldn't get in chia seeds. So make your own choice. Let's get back to the topic. Chia seeds can be added to a smoothie, but chia seeds get like jelly thick. So if you add it to a smoothie, you have to drink it right away. Even like we suggest having a smoothie in probably 30 minutes. A lot of people chug smoothies and they're like, I can't take smoothies, it bothers my stomach, or protein powder doesn't agree with me, it always gives me indigestion. And I'm like, how long does it take you to drink your smoothie? And they're like, 3 minutes? No offense, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying this is what we hear all the time. It's not it could be the protein if it's low quality. It could be the protein. Those cheap quality like at Popeyes or Costco, those garbage protein that I really dislike, the bunch of toxins in them. There's that. But in most cases it's that we chug smoothies because they taste good, they're easy to drink, and you're usually on the go. So you chug a smoothie, you're bloated, you got a bellyache, and then you're like, I can't drink smoothies. So for you to take your time and give your body a chance to digest, I would take 30 minutes to drink a smoothie. And by that time, your chia seeds, jelly, and then you need to eat your smoothie with a spoon. So we're looking at different oils. So the easiest answer for the oils that you should stay away from are seed oils. So in my personal opinion, when I pick up a product at the grocery store and I see canola oil in there, cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, I put it back on the shelf. I don't want chronic pain. I don't believe in it. I want to stay away from those products that are toxic to our bodies. Palm oil is another one. Palm oil is actually, you know what, we have canola fields around here, and I'm sure it's insulting for me, so for some people to hear me talk about it, but because we have farmers that farm canola oil, like canola seed, which is then processed into canola oil, and that's toxic. Like, it's not improving humanity in any way. They're just trying to make a living. And don't get me wrong, I love farmers. We need farmers. We have lots of farmer friends living in a rural area, but that's the truth of the matter. Like, they do some crazy stuff. I was watching to prep for this video, which is nice because when I do a video like this, I do a bit of research to refresh my memory, and I'm like, okay, I can share this, and this. That might be interesting for you guys. But I was watching what they do to canola oil, and it's absolutely bonkers. What they soak it in something, and then they process it in something, and then they heat it at 450. Like, how could you put any product? Heat it at that high temperature, and then expect it to have health problems? Like, it's bonkers. And then I'm not going to get into the industry and who's pushing it and why it's being pushed. I'll leave that up to you. Maybe when I get a bit more secure in my thoughts, I'll share that kind of stuff. But it's absolutely bonkers of what, like, grocery stores are not built around health. And I feel like we should all know that. Grocery stores are built around their margin, making money and keeping products shelf stable. So if you go and like they heat those products so high because they'll last forever, right? If you get a product that sits on the shelf and it goes bad after 2 weeks or 3 months, then they lose money, and they're built around their business needs to make money or they're not going to be in business anymore. So they want to have a product that sits on the shelf forever, not go bad. You've seen those, everyone's probably seen those like pictures of McDonald's. You could put McDonald's fries or burgers or whatever, buns on the counter for months and they don't even mold. Like, what do we think they're putting in it that is causing it to be preserved forever? Like, we gotta connect the things. That's another one. Like, you're going to fast food joints, they use the cheapest quality oil possible, and that is causing damage in our body. So someone will say, oh well, I don't go to fast food very often, maybe once a week or twice a week. That's often. And the thing is that it's not just like, everything adds up, right? Well, I only have ice cream once a week, and I only go to have a bag of chips or crackers once a week, and then I only have popcorn, movie theater popcorn once a week, whatever it is, right? Like, usually it's 3, 4, 5 times a week we're consuming these lower quality foods, and then we're like, and then we may say, well, I bought a nice oil, that should be good, right? Probably not. And then, but we have to connect the two, right? We have to connect the two, and we have to understand that every decision we make will either improve the health of our body or will cause it to decline. And that's what how I feel we stop making better choices as we get older, because we're like, oh, like, you think about the grandkids, for example, right? Maybe, and who has grandkids in our audience here? Let me know in the comments. So maybe, for example, you didn't let your kids have ice cream for dinner. But now as a grandparent, you're like, What's the big deal? Let the kid have ice cream for dinner. Meanwhile, the parents got to deal with fighting vet for 2 weeks after. We felt like the grandparents felt like that was a good idea, right? As a grandparent, you may be moving less. You may be scrolling more. You may be having a more sedentary lifestyle, right? And that's okay if that's what you want, but we have to understand like what you accept is what you get out of life, and you can demand something different if you want. So people are like, oh, I've been through all that. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to make different decisions now that I'm older. And then we have these like chronic issues that continue to creep up and increase, and then we're going to the doctor's office every week, or we're standing in line for more medication. We don't think about our lifestyle. We just think about, oh, I'm getting older. All my friends are doing the same thing, or all the family members my age are doing the same thing. What's the problem? Instead of looking through a different lens and being like, you know what? If I start to make better choices in my life, start to cut off some of that processed food with all the rancid oils, maybe I'll have less pain. And then you start moving your body a little bit more. And then as you move your body, you realize how good it feels. So you're like, wow, this is amazing. I should move my body more. So it's a whole process. It starts with your mind and moving toward the direction you want to go instead of the opposite. Can your MCT oil be heated? It can be heated on low. You can be used to cook with it on low heat. High heat, like a lot of people just cook on high heat, and it's just like their pan is sizzling. To do that, the only oil I would recommend is coconut oil, maybe ghee. You can cook on with butter on higher temperatures, but butter will burn. Like you can see the butter, even like we recommend and use grass-fed butter, you can see it like go brown. You've burnt it. You've turned it rancid, and now when you put it in your body, it's going to cause inflammation and chronic pain. At the grocery store, you're probably going to have a low-quality oil. I think they're getting better, but in most cases, you go to the grocery store, it's probably lower quality. You level up for lower quality if it's in a plastic container. That's a lower quality. The lowest quality is in a clear plastic container, right? So that's a rancid oil. If you have sunlight, like sunlight will affect the quality of your oil. That's why in most cases, your oil should be in a dark container out of sunlight. Like often they'll say store in a cool dark place, right? That's because they don't want the sunlight or heat to affect the properties of the oil. So hopefully that's clear enough. So you go to the grocery store and you buy a cheap plastic bottle that's clear, whatever it is, canola oil, whatever vegetable oil, that is causing the chronic pain in your body that we should not be consuming. So if you start to clean up the oils and you start to read the ingredients and pay attention to what we're putting in our body, you'll start to see your body have less and less chronic pain. So that's one thing that's important to understand. Now, if we were to look at replacement, I already went over the seed oil. So the seed oils you want to stay away from. If I were to go over to replacements, I'll just list a few of my favorite ones. So you could look at ghee. That's not something that we've dived into super deep, but I know that's a quality of fat. You can look at avocado oil, although again, you have to read the ingredients and pay attention to the brand that's selling that product, because I believe with any case, the more mainstream products become, the more saturated the market is, the lower the quality becomes. Now, avocado oil is hitting mainstream like olive oil has, and now they're starting to put a junk in it and not proper oils. So we have to look at companies and brands that actually represent who you want or who you align with. Now, some people don't care. I guess you wouldn't be watching this if you didn't care. Some people don't care. They're just like, I know there's an oil. I don't care. This is cheap. This is what I'm putting on. I wouldn't recommend. That's just my opinion through our research and experience. So you can look at sorry, I don't know what my problem is here. Olive oil. You can look at an olive oil. Now, we did we listened to a presentation of a lady that imported her own olive oil. It's quite popular now. It starts with a P. Can anyone help me out with that? I'm quite certain. So she was bringing olive oil over from her own, do you call it vineyards? with the olives. I had a friend, completely side note, I had a friend I grew up with in Calgary, and he went over to Italy, and his wife's family's from there, and he was sending me pictures of all these, like they were showing the whole processing, like I don't know what you call it, picking, harvesting the olives, and then they were all going into like these big barrels, and then I don't know, you have to press the oil out, obviously, in some way or another. But I wonder if anyone's interested. I'll find those pictures and post them on this group, and maybe that'd be cool for you guys to see. But he said it was super labor intensive. But I was reading articles about how manufacturers were bringing in low quality oils to water down the olive oil so they could make more money. So what happened is that the locals were actually trying to block the ports because from these bigger companies bringing in lower quality oils like the seed oils, like those seed oils or those rancid oils, those lower quality oils. They were trying to lessen the quality. Weren't trying to lessen the quality. All they were trying to do is increase their profit margins. So they're bringing in these barrels of garbage oil, and then the locals, or maybe the more ethical types of companies, businesses, they were trying to prevent those oils from coming in because they knew that they were watering down the entire industry. And those bigger companies often don't care. They just need to continue to make higher margins to continue to make more money. Maybe that's for investors, or maybe the guy at the top wants to make more money, whatever it is. But that was super interesting. Olive oil in particular, like I feel like maybe sugar, olive oil, some type of flour possibly is the oldest traded commodity. So they used to trade for other things. Like, well, of course, I think most of us know you used to trade. Like, you used to trade wasn't like, here's $5 bill. It was like, here, I have these eggs. Can I have that oil? And I believe sugar and oil for sure was the oldest trade. Like, that's what they used to trade. So it's been a long history. And now here's what happens is, I think if you're looking at your conventional olive oil bottle at the grocery store, that only needs to be 3% olive oil, because the industry is very loosely regulated. There's no one that's saying, hey, you can't label that olive oil. Well, maybe they are. They're like, okay, it has to be 3% now. Instead of giving you a grapeseed oil that's actually and putting the olive oil label on it. I don't know how it works, but it's super interesting. So what I'm saying here is that when you go to the grocery store and you buy a cheap oil and it has a name on it, it may not be that name. So you have to dig a bit deeper, and you have to find those quality brands. You have to stay away from the clear bottled rancid stuff first, and then do a bit more research and figure out which oils are better quality. Pompian extra virgin oil, is that the one that comes in? It sounds about right too. It comes in a like a tin container, like a dark, I don't know what, aluminum, maybe not aluminum, stainless steel. At any rate, she was super interesting how she talked about actually growing the oil, the olives, to bringing them all the way over.
One of the things I would like to ask of you guys is that some of you know that I don't run ads on the show and don't plan on in the immediate future. So the only ask I have for you is that you help us spread the word so we can help more women burn body fat, increase energy, and balance their hormones. And the only way that we can do that is if you can rate and review this podcast. So the single thing that I could have you do, or could ask of you, is to leave a review. It'll take 5 minutes or one swipe of the thumb. It would mean the absolute world to me. And more importantly, you could change the world for someone else. As many of you know, there's plenty of women that struggle in this age group for balancing hormones, increasing energy, and burning body fat. So if you could help spread the word, that would make a big difference in our life and probably someone else's as well.
At any rate, okay, let's move on. So the oils that I would recommend is a good quality olive oil. That's fine. There's actually olive oil properties that you don't find in other oils. That's why I feel like it's good to have a variety of different oils in your home, not just one. I mean, we really like our MCT oil. We use it every single day for most things. But we also use so I could get into this here briefly, but there's a lot to MCT oil. So MCT oil in particular has 4 carbons, or 4 carbon chains, however you want to say it. There's C6, 8, 10, and 12. This is C8. This is the most, this is a short chain or medium chain triglyceride. That's what MCT oil stands for, medium chain triglyceride. So it processes very, very differently in your body. So your longer chains process is a different process. So this one, as a medium chain, I get the short and medium mixed up because it processes quickly. So in my brain, I think of it as short. Regardless, the medium chain processes quickly, which is why we call this brain fuel. You could call it, some brands I've heard call it high octane, which is the 8, right? The MCT or the C8 oil, because it goes straight to your brain and can offer a brain boost. It can offer cognitive function. You could even look at, like, this can break the blood-brain barrier, which is very rare. In most cases, your oils are longer chain and they take longer to digest or absorb or turn into energy. So you see a lot of keto people use this because it can turn into ketosis or ketones very quickly. So that's a very different process. So the problem with MCT oil in particular is most people think they're all created equally. So when you look at a product like this, the most sought after or the most beneficial carbon is the C8. The C6 is also, they all have their own benefits, but the C8 has the most benefits that you want. And the problem here is that that's the most expensive. So what they do, like I've seen like Costco companies or just lower quality companies, or maybe they're an ethical company, they just don't want to promote a single carbon of C8. They go and grab the 10 and 12 and they'll mix that in with a C8 product, right? So on the bottle it'll say MCT oil C8, and then you look at the ingredients and that's the smallest part. They have a larger part of 10 and 12. Now 12 is the cheapest, 10 is a little bit more expensive, and then 8. But you have to look at the quality. Anything you look at costs more because it takes a bit more time to process, or it's processed at it's more time intensive. So for example, you look at a lower quality product like palm oil is a good one. Palm oil I really dislike. I mentioned earlier in the show I'm a bit of an environmentalist. So palm oil, they actually rip down the rainforest, and man, this is so hard to watch. I was almost in tears watching this video of this, like it was like an orangutan or a chimpanzee or something. There was like a chimpanzee that was like banging on this big machine that was tearing down the rainforest it lived in to get palm oil. And it's like that's its home, right? That's its home. That's what it knows. That's where it raises its family. And we're like, okay, let's tear down some rainforest just to get a little bit of oil. You can get palm oil that's supposed to be, has like an asterisk next to it. And I forget the acronym, but it's supposed to be like environmentally friendly. Not sure I 100% believe in that. Well, I don't believe in that. And the other aspect is that palm oil is processed at such a high rate. Like I mentioned about canola oil, 450 degrees Fahrenheit. They do the same thing with palm oil, and the palm oil becomes anti-inflammatory, which causes that chronic pain, and now that's a toxin that we put in our body. So hopefully that helps you understand a bit more of the different oils that you can look at. We are fans of grass-fed butter. That's a little bit different. I don't want to get into that too much because then you got to talk about the dairy industry and people get upset about that. So we do consume a little bit of grass-fed butter. There's definitely benefits there. Probably wouldn't consume it if it's not grass-fed. That's my personal choice or opinion. So let me finish off with MCT oil. So when you're looking at MCT oil, you want C8. You don't want the other stuff cut in there. And often some people will say it's an MCT oil, which all that means is medium chain triglyceride, which is what a palm oil is, but the palm oil is rancid, or at least it's heated at such high temperatures. It's not going to offer the same benefits as a MCT oil that is coconut derived. So with the MCT oil uses, you can put it in coffee or tea. You can cook with it on low temperatures, which we recommend. You can drizzle it on. You can use it for salad dressing. You can put it on a stir fry for your healthy fat. In our meal plans, we balance the macros, so we build in the macros and the fats into your meal plan, so our people know exactly what to eat. But if you don't have someone doing that for you, you should make sure you're having a healthy fat. So the healthy fats help burn, or I like to think of it, the healthy fats eat the bad fats. So you have healthy fats that help metabolize or burn off the unhealthy fats. That doesn't mean you can eat whatever you want. Head over to McDonald's and have a teaspoon of MCT oil. That's probably not going to work out for you. So there's a number of different options, but I think understanding what oils can do and then the benefits. So you want healthy oils that I've been mentioning to help lubricate your joints, to help burn body fats, You're looking at things like I mentioned, arthritis. Like a lot of people, the ages that we work with in particular, are starting to deal with more arthritis and sore joints. You need to have more oil in your system, like good quality oils, and then start to eliminate the bad bad quality oils that are only increasing that inflammation. So you decrease and eliminate what's causing the inflammation, and then you replace it. So I'm going to do a whole show about this on supplements, because I have more and more people coming about supplements, and they're like, my gosh, like I didn't know all this stuff about supplements. They started watching our lives and I started to understand more education that we teach, and they're like, okay, I got so much of this, what do I do? And I'm like, well, don't throw everything away. Start to add better quality. So you add one good quality supplement, right? And then you add another, and then when you eliminate one of them, don't buy it again. For me, if it's like a really cheap, like you paid $10 for a big bucket of oil, I mean, I'd probably toss it out. I probably wouldn't myself or recommend consuming all of that just to save a few bucks on the back end. Like other supplements may be a bit different because they cost more, but I'll leave that up to you. At any rate, that's all I have for you. I'm going to leave you with that. We do have our MCT oil on sale on our website, trueformlife.com/shop. If you want to pick up, we have discounted for the 2-pack. So we have a single bottle, and then we have 2 bottles. Those are actually sold out. These are really hard to keep in. Like every month we've been selling out for the last 3 months. We've sold out, and I'm like trying to order more, and I'm like, where is it all going? One of the things that we've considered is for those locally, offering the option to bring your bottle and we'll fill it up. And we'd offer a discount for that because we pay for the bottles, the caps, the labels. So if we just filled up your bottle, we would offer a discount for that. I don't know how challenging that would be to make that happen, but if we had a handful of people that wanted to give that a shot, let me know and we'll consider it. If no one really wants to do it, then that's fine. Either way, you can grab a discount on the website if you go there today. Otherwise, I don't know how long that will last. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you guys coming in. If we can help with anything, shoot us a message. Otherwise, we hope you have a wonderful day, have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everyone.